Hey guys, Benny here from Crypto Catch Up. Welcome back. Another beautiful day in Cryptopia. Today I just wanted to go through a video on understanding transaction fees and times and all that kind of jazz, because you're getting a lot of people that are, asking the question, why is my transaction not confirmed? I sent it 30 minutes ago. Why is it costing me, 15 bucks? Well, there is reasons for all of it, and I want to take you through, I guess, firstly, the understanding of the different coins and why some are more expensive than others at the point in time. But then also teaching you guys how to track your transactions and understanding what the fees mean. So when you do a transaction, is this going to take long? Why is this costing me so much? It'll make your life a lot easier in the future and make you be able to, take on different decisions and different maneuvers around the market to make it better for you. So the first thing I want to go through, like I said, is understanding. So a lot of people go, if you're going to transfer from exchange A to exchange B, then you must use Litecoin or Ethereum. It's cheaper. Well, yes, it is cheaper. But like I said, the reason for that, guys, is because it has nowhere near the network traffic of Bitcoin. So even though these are newer, like Litecoin, like Ethereum, they are not substantially faster by any means. So Ethereum, yes, it does have some advantages. It sits around, up to 30 transactions a second. Bitcoin sits around anywhere from 2 to 10 transactions a second, depending on what's going on. But the reason why the fees are so expensive on Bitcoin is because each one of the blocks on the blockchain has a limited size. So Bitcoin has a 1 megabyte limit, which means we can only fit so many transactions in. Then you have something like Bitcoin Cash, which claims that it's the true Bitcoin and it's faster than Bitcoin and all of that jazz. But all they've done is put a band-aid fix and increase the block size to 8 megabytes. Will it make it faster? Yes, because you can fit more in each block. But has it got anywhere near the amount of transactions as what Bitcoin has? No. Does any other network? No. Other than Ethereum with their crypto kitties. So with that, guys, it's just good to keep in mind that, 12 months ago, Bitcoin wasn't like what it is now. All these other coins have nowhere near the usage of what Bitcoin has. So yes, they are cheaper, but no, they are not superior. There are things that go for them, like cheaper fees, but it's all based to circumstance. It's the biggest problem that affects all of cryptocurrency right now, being scalability. One day, Bitcoin, they're not just going to put in a band-aid fix. They are the big player in this market. They're going to take their time to find a way to make sure that the solution that they come up with is future-proof, because when they change the next time, it's going to create a fork or a pre-planned fork, and we'll move on and take that route. All right, so let's jump in. So the first thing I want to go through is like a Bitcoin transaction, and then I'm going to look at an Ethereum transaction just to compare the two. So normally when you do a transaction on Bitcoin, you press it, you sit there and you wonder, why it was so expensive, why did it take so long? Well, the first thing you should always do before you choose to do any form of Bitcoin transaction is come to this website right here, blockchain.info, unconfirmed transactions. Type it into Google, unconfirmed transactions. It's going to come up straight away. This here, guys, is how many transactions are sitting there right now waiting to go inside a block. Now, on Bitcoin, a block comes around on average every 10 minutes. So this currently, it's getting around 48 transactions a second, which are being added to the pool. But like I said, Bitcoin can only process anywhere from 2 to 10 and fit those into that block. So this list keeps growing, and there's no way to actually mine it any faster because the blocks only come every 10 minutes. So next time you do a transaction, come here, see this list, because if this list is so high like this, guess what? It's going to take forever. Now, there's one way around that, and one way only. Bitcoin has a service called replace by fee. Replace by fee means that if you choose to pay more for your transaction fee, you will get your transaction looked at by a miner much sooner than somebody that pays the lowest amount. So you might notice this, guys, sometimes on exchanges the fees are higher than others, or on wallets you can select a price. That is replaced by fee. That means, like I said, if you want to get this done right now, then do it. Because, for example, when people try and do arbitrage, when they sell to try and, where exchanges have one price higher than another, and that they want to, buy it on the cheap exchange, send it to another exchange, take into account the transaction time and the fees involved. Because if you do it and Bitcoin's price changes straight away, you are going to stuff yourself every single time. So check this first. But if you've already done a transaction, that's what I want to look at next. So in here, actually, if I grab one of these ones, if I can grab one, let's see if we can get one. Come on, come on, come on. No. Oh, we'll grab this one here. Beautiful. So if you grab this actual transaction here, so if you were to send from wallet 1 to 2, you can come into this same website, paste in your transaction, and it will give you the breakdown of that transaction. It will let you know, is it unconfirmed? Is it confirmed? And if it is confirmed, if we go back here, this is a block that was already done recently. Jeez, TPG, look at that internet, so slow. Alright, if I click into this transaction here, it's confirmed. And you can see right there, the confirmations. It has 11 of them. Now, what confirmations refer to, guys, is practically the more confirmations you have, it gives trust to the wallet or to the exchange that this transaction will never be changed. So for big transactions, $1 million plus, some services are going to want to have 30 to 60 confirmations before they accept that. Now, a confirmation is like another block. Now, with Bitcoin, on some exchanges, for example, on BTC Markets, it only asks for one confirmation. That's also something for low amounts that you might be transferring. It's okay to have a lower confirmation count, because if you lose that amount of money, or if it is double spent and some form of attack occurs, it's not going to be that big a loss to your business. So that's where they have a different risk threshold. Another thing I'll just show you guys here is this is another website, which these are the blocks that have last been mined. It shows you here on the left of, I believe, the number of transactions, and then also the yellow is the value of that within that block. And as you can see here, these are the transactions coming through and the value of them. And this on the left hand side is also known as the unconfirmed transactions, also known as what's called the mempool. So you can see here, guys, that there's quite a lot of transactions sitting there, and it fluctuates throughout the day. Okay. Next thing I just wanted to show you guys is just to compare and go back to that, that Bitcoin argument and what, Bitcoin Cash, for example, has inside their transactions and their blocks to understand what's going on. So here, what we're showing you is the average number of transactions Bitcoin has per block, which is the orange line at the top. So as you can see, it anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 they can fit inside. That maxes out every time. Whereas here, you've got Bitcoin Cash. They're not even filling up their 8 megabyte block. They can fit 8 times more than Bitcoin, but their fees are low because they have no one using their network. Let's be serious, guys. Look at this reward. Let's go to the fees. $32 in fees per block on average in 3 hours, and we have a look over 7 days, it's about 68 bucks. That's nothing. But like I said, guys, there's hardly any transactions there. It's all for a reason. Bitcoin, $59,000 per block. Yes, it's expensive. Should it be that way? No. But Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is, or group, man or woman, it doesn't matter, because they had a vision at the start which they never thought it would get the uptake that it has today. All right. Another thing you can do, guys, if you have sent a transaction and you're really needing it to get through, is to use what they call a transaction accelerator. Now, I don't advise using these all the time because the likelihood of it actually occurring comes down to a few factors. So what these programs or these companies are saying that they have is an affiliation with one of the large mining pools. And so they say, if you put in your transaction ID, you can accelerate now. And what it's going to do is practically ask you to pay a fee in whatever these payment methods are. Now, depending on the fee you pay, once again, pay more, there's a very good likelihood that you're going to get your transaction picked up first, or not first, or sooner rather than later. Because what they do is they propagate your transaction again to a mining pool that's supposedly their friend, to get them to mine it, in the next block maybe, or whenever they can. Now, the thing is with that, guys, even if you spend $50, they do not guarantee any of their services. So just keep that in mind. All right. The next one I wanted to go over, guys, is Ethereum, because Ethereum works a little bit different to Bitcoin in the way that it calculates its fee. So on Ethereum, you have to put in what is known as a gas limit and a gas price. Now, the best way to explain a gas limit and gas price with Ethereum, gas limit, if we think of about a car, your gas limit is like how far you need to get. So if I need to get 5 kilometers, and let's say my car uses, a litre of fuel per kilometre, well, I need 5 litres of fuel. The gas price, on the other hand, is how much I pay per litre. So with that, if I pay more, well, I'm buying premium fuel. And just like Bitcoin, if you pay for the premium fuel, or you pay more in terms of your gas price, your transaction will go quicker. So to give you an example of that, guys, if we look up in the top right hand corner, this is called MetaMask. Don't worry about what it is. I'm just going to put in something to show you. This is nothing. It's an Ethereum. Oh, geez Louise, I need Ethereum address. I don't know if there was cash in there. Actually, hardly anything. $1, I think. So this is generating a transaction for the Ethereum network right now as we speak. And like I said, geez, my internet's good here. Whew, look at it go. Oh, painful. Absolutely painful. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. All right. So like I just talked about, guys, your gas limit and your gas price. So some wallets will do an automatic calculation based on the network at the time and how much is going on. So at the moment, Ethereum's fairly slow. It's got a lot of things going on. So it's suggested that I have a gas price of 71 GUI and a gas limit of 31,000. Now, to give you an example, guys, of what a standard gas limit is, around 21,000 for a standard transfer. Now, what happens though is that in Ethereum, if it's got to run a lot of code, or if you're sending over a smart contract to buy into an ICO, it needs more gas in terms of the limit though, not the price. So with your gas limit, guys, for example, if you're going to send it over to an ICO, I'd suggest you put in a gas limit of 250,000 all the way up to 500,000. And set the gas price, like I said, the lower, the slower. So if we go 4, it's only going to charge a particular price. If we go 70, like it's suggesting, it's going to charge me $24. It's going to get it there quick, but it's not necessary, guys, on the Ethereum network. The most important part is this gas limit. Because if you try and put a value in, for example, let's say we put 30,000 in, but it's got to travel 5 kilometers and you've only put in 3 liters of fuel, let's say, in 30,000, it will come up with a transaction and say that it's out of gas. you lose that money because it tried to process it for you. It used all of that transaction fee up and then said, sorry guys, not enough cash, try again. Whereas if you put in more, like 250,000 or 500,000, it will only use what is necessary and send the rest back to you. So don't stinge out on the gas limit, stinge out on the gas price, but just know guys that when you do it, it's going to be slower rather than faster if you change this one down, like I said, to 4, 10, whatever. All right. So this website here, guys, Etherscan, another really good website. So if you do an Ethereum transaction, you can paste the transaction in there and have a look at it. And it's super easy to work out what's going on. So if we have a look at this transaction like we just did before, you can see here, it would show you that it's successful. This is the block. This is how many confirmations it has. This is how much they paid. Like I said, 21,000 gas limit, which was $5 because they paid quite a large GUE just to make sure it went through quickly, which is hardly a high fee to pay for $1,000 when they were trying to get it done as fast as possible. If we have a look at a pending transaction, just to show you what one of those looks like. Little wheel of death. Hopefully not death if you put your gas limit right. This is actually, looks like a spam transaction. It's got no value whatsoever. So that's interesting. And that will just sit there going through. Could, like I said, come up with out of gas, which looks like this, if you've ever seen it. Yeah, right. Okay. Looks like this, guys. Warning, that's cancelled. And it says here, out of gas. All right. So keep that in mind. Another website here to look at, guys, if you're trying to work out to send it from wallet to wallet, look at ETH Gas Station. This site is awesome. I'll just update this, see if it's changed. So what this is doing is telling you how long your wait time is, how many blocks you might have to wait. Now, Ethereum mines blocks a lot faster than what Bitcoin does. This is saying that this is a safe gas price to use, or the standard one to use at the moment. And it also says, you know, a bunch of other information. So you can put in here, you know, if you want it really fast, that's the fee you're going to pay if you use that amount of gas limit. It also has a transaction calculator. So you can work out, if I go 150,000 right now on the network and you set whatever one you want, let's say it's average, and you submit, it's going to say the chance of you being mined within the hour is very high, etc, etc, etc. So that there, guys, if you use those two products, like I said, you do an Ethereum transaction, jump straight into Etherscan, see where it's up to here. Check if it has any confirmations, because if it does, like I said, it needs a particular amount before it's going to show up on your exchange. Sometimes for Ethereum, it needs at least 30 confirmations, like I said, because they mine their blocks faster. The last thing I'd say, guys, is also look for wallets around that have the ability to change the fee. So some wallets like Exodus actually use an algorithm to work it out for you, whereas Electrum allows you to actually set it yourself, or at least pick from a drop-down box, which allows you to speed it up if you need to in and out of your wallet. Other than that, guys, I will just have a look if I've got anything else here. Nah, all good. All right, guys, you enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, if you can press like and subscribe, that'd be great. You enjoy the rest of your night. Cheers.